So we're talking a little bit about your short sale.
Mhm.
Okay. Then tell me a little bit about how you got in the position where
Okay.
you thought that might be the route you need to get to.
Okay. I had a career where I bought a house and was able to afford it at that point. And then I switched careers where I made less money.
Right.
I couldn't afford the mortgage, so I applied for the loan modification. And after about a year, they finally notified me that I wasn't, that I didn't get it.
Right.
So for a year, I hadn't paid it and had all these arrears. I couldn't make it up, so I ended up on a sheriff's sale list.
Yeah. And that's right about when I found you, when we talked
Yes,
again.
I had talked to somebody who was a realtor who told me it was about 2 months before the sheriff's sale, maybe not quite, that it was, basically told me it was too late.
Yeah.
And then I spoke with you 3 weeks before the sheriff's
Yeah.
sale.
In November
and you said-
2011.
Yes, and you said, let me see what I can do. And at that point, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had seen a lawyer about whether or not to file for bankruptcy. I didn't know if he was going, I didn't know if my mortgage company was going to come after me for the difference. I didn't know where I was going to move to in such a short period of time. And then I spoke to you.
Yeah.
And you were able to get the sheriff's sale stayed.
Yeah. And that's what we did. We got some paperwork signed. We got the sheriff's sale stayed.
You handled everything. I don't even know what it was. I just know that I got that call from you saying that it was stayed, and it was such a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. It took a while, this one.
Yes.
I mean, it was, we had 2 agreements on it. The first one didn't go through, but we stuck with it.
Mhm.
And the second one was a better offer, and we finally got that approved.
It was, and I know I didn't know what was going to happen. I know that every time I spoke with you, you gave me an update. I knew it was, it was still in the works. There was no, it's done. It was several sheriff's sale days, but
Yeah.
I know that you went above and beyond to make sure that this thing kept going. And
Yeah.
in dealing with my mortgage company, can I mention that mortgage company?
Sure.
With Bank of America,
Yeah.
which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I know every time I talk to you, you make me feel better. Like, I'd start to stress, you made me feel better. It's one of those things, I don't even know how it happened.
Right.
But, and it was almost exactly a year.
Yeah.
That it took.
Yep. How do you feel now that it's over? Because I know going through it was tough.
It
but
feels
now
good.
that it's over.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
like kind of that, I'm losing my house, but knowing that it wasn't a sheriff's sale, that it wasn't a foreclosure,
Yeah.
that that is such a huge weight. Knowing that I can walk away from this and
Yeah.
it's done. It was really 3 years
Mm.
of stress. And 1, how am I going to keep this house? And then
Mhm.
2, I don't really want to keep this house.
Right.
And but how do I do this without either having to declare bankruptcy or having an enormous amount of debt?
Yeah.
That and today I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's done. There's a nice family that's gonna have it, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the house.
Yeah.
I hope they're as happy with it as I was at first. And I sleep at night. I don't worry about money. I don't worry about what's gonna happen. I
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. I know where I live, and I no longer have to worry about
And you're absolved of the debt.
absolved of the debt. I can walk away. I walked away. It's done.
Right. So, on a scale of 9 to 10,
9 to 10.
scale of 9 to 10, how much of a pleasure and a privilege was it to work with me?
Wow, between 9 and 10,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to say an 11.
There it is.
Yeah, it was. Even when I was on vacation, you didn't even bother me when
Yeah.
it seemed like everything was going to go wrong, and you handled it for me, just to cause me less stress. Like, you really alleviated so much of my worry
Yeah.
in dealing with this. And even though I didn't know what the outcome was going to be, you made me feel like it was going to be manageable either way.
Yeah.
And that helped me a lot. And knowing that you were invested in it, like, it wasn't something like, oh, they said no, okay, goodbye.
Yeah, no.
It was,
Mhm.
you wanted to help me, and